Good morning. Welcome to a yoga flow for your back and for your legs. As always, listen to your body. Don't do anything that feels wrong to you. Particularly listen to joints. We'll be working on the back. So if you've got any back stiffness and pain, go to the space that feels right and listen carefully, particularly if you've got low back pain, deep twisting, you must go gently with. Okay, we'll begin in child's pose. Take your toes to the back of the mat. Drop your backside towards your heels and slide your hands forward. Forehead to the mat. Let your body be soft. Allow your body to soften into the mat. Let your breath slow. And give yourself permission for this 45 minutes to focus on your breath and your body and leave all the distractions behind. Take a nice big in-breath through your nostrils. And exhale through your mouth, release. Repeat that in your own time twice more. Spread your fingers, press your palms down, slide them as far away as you can so that you can stretch across your back into your ribs. Take a nice lengthening in-breath. And as you exhale, press your hands into the mat once more and rise up onto your hands and knees. And we'll draw some very gentle circles with your shoulders. You can inhale forwards. Change the direction. Nice and slowly. One more time round. And then slide your wrists underneath your shoulders. Separate your knees to hip width apart for a couple of rounds of cow and cat. With your next in-breath, forehead and tail to the sky. Exhale, round your back. Tuck your chin under, tuck your tail under, suck your belly button to your spine. Inhale into cat pose once again. Keep the knuckles of your hands, not your fingers, but your hands on the mat. Exhale. Press the floor away. Round the upper back. One more time in each direction. And then come to a neutral spine. Nice long in breath. Bring your backside to your heels. Slide your hands forward. Forehead to the mat. Press your hands into the mat. Inhale, rise up through cat pose. And as you exhale, bend your elbows in towards your body and lower down thighs, hips, belly button, ribs, forehead. Tuck your elbows in. Press your groin, your pubic bone down into the mat. Lift up. Inhale. Exhale back. We'll do that a few more times. And try and make this feel like a wave in slow motion. So it's a spinal wave to warm up the spine. You're also working on strengthening and toning your arms.
We'll take that one more time. Inhaling up. Exhaling to lower. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, take yourself back. Slide your hands towards your knees. Inhale, both hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, turn to your right and try and keep your knees level so they don't move. Gaze over your right shoulder briefly. And then inhale, scoop your hands up. Exhale, go in the opposite direction. So we're just warming up. There's no need to force anything at this point. Inhale up. We'll do that one more time in each direction. Look over your left shoulder. And both hands up. Looking dead ahead. Exhale, drop your hands. And walk onto your hands and knees once again. And then take your hands forward about a hand's length. So they're in front of your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Suck your belly button up towards your spine. Squeeze your glutes. Press the toes into the mat and lift your knees just a smidge. Then push the floor away so your upper back slightly domed. And look towards your thumbs. Squeeze your glutes. Suck your belly button up. And then with your next in-breath, lift your hips up to the sky so you're on tiptoe. And then exhale, bring your heels to the back of the mat. Now just take a moment, check in with your hands. Fingertips pressing into the mat. Knuckles of the hands, heels of the hands on the mat. So it's a bit like you're clawing at the mat. Then we'll walk on the spot just a little bit to stretch the backs of your legs. Take it nice and slowly. Brilliant. Okay, feet still. Press your hands into the mat. Take your chest slightly towards your thighs and circle your armpits towards each other. So you're rounding them towards each other. Looking at your knees or your belly button. Keep pressing the whole palm onto the mat. Now rise onto your tiptoes. Drop the knees down. And slide your hands back towards you. Just enough to take your left foot forwards. And you can slide that as far forwards as is comfortable. Hands either side of the foot. Now with your next in-breath, let your hips slowly slide down towards the mat and lift your crown. Now it doesn't matter if your pose doesn't look the same as mine. What you're looking for is a stretch here and then a stretch down the front of the right leg into the groin. Slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Lengthen your neck. Big in-breath. And as you exhale, slowly ease your hips towards your right heel. Curl the toes of your left foot towards the back of your head as you look inwards. Now once again, your left knee might be slightly bent. That's fine. Might be a lot bent. What's important is that you're feeling the length, feeling the lengthening happening in the back of the knee and into the hamstring. Inhale, ease yourself forwards once again. Crown up to the sky. Exhale, rock back. And with your breath in your own time, just take a few waves forwards and backwards. We'll make it all the way forwards and lengthen. Nice long neck, slide your shoulders down. Now at this point you can pause here or you can bend your back knee
And bring your foot up as high as it'll go. You might be able to reach, perhaps you can reach a legging or a trouser leg. Perhaps you can reach the foot, in which case you can see what feels good there for you. So you can take it as close to your backside or not, but you're looking for length, not pain here. Make sure your neck stays long, whatever you're doing. And then I'll slowly take the foot back to the mat. Palms on the mat, lift your hips, and step back into a high plank. Squeeze your belly button up to your spine, press the mat away, heels to the back of the mat. Then lift your hips and make your way back into downward facing dog. Once again, squeeze the glutes, belly button to spine, armpits towards each other. And drop your knees. Slide your hands forward just a bit and take your right foot forward this time. You can work it as far forward as is comfortable. Ease your knee over your ankle. Hands either side of the foot, lengthen the neck. Take a nice long lengthening in breath, and then as you exhale, slowly ease your hips backwards. Curl the toes of your right foot towards the back of your head. Inhale, wave forwards. Exhale back. And you can hold this one for a few breaths if you like, or you can just keep easing yourself forwards and backwards. See what feels nice to you today. One of the great benefits of yoga is the opportunity to be in the present moment with your body, really listening to what it feels like, what it wants. So in this case, if it wants a little stretch on the left thigh, you know what to do. So you might be on your fingertips or your fist. Just make sure you have a nice long neck, whether you're looking in front or behind. You choose what feels nice there. And we'll drop the back foot. And this time, make your way to the top of the mat. We'll hold a forward bend for a moment. So you can have slightly soft knees. Let your arms hang and your gaze is inwards towards the body. Perhaps bend one knee, keep the other one straight, and then swap over. Our focus today is lengthening the backs of your legs and strengthening the spine. Or the muscles around your spine. Bend your knees, flatten your back, and swing your arms up. A nice big in-breath. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. So keep your hands there, lift your toes, separate them, flatten your feet right down into the mat. Then draw your tailbone down to the floor. So it's different from tucking it under, it's drawing it down. You'll feel the length, and you can have a go at practicing both. And then make your neck nice and long and your side waist long. So you've got your spine as long as you can while you're standing. And that'll feel like hard work. You'll feel that in your back, but it shouldn't hurt. Take your hands to your kidneys there. Squeeze your elbows towards each other. Lift your chin just a little and gently lean into your hands. So you're pushing the hands in and down.
Keep squeezing your elbows towards each other and tighten your buttocks. The head at this point, the chin isn't moving, so it's along for the ride. You don't need to go far, just enough to get length in the front body. Remember to breathe. Okay, keep squeezing the glutes and start to move the hips backwards. Take your chest forwards. Soften the knees into a forward fold. Bring your fingertips to the mat. Take a big step back with your right foot. Bend the left knee and let's rise up to a nice high lunge. Bend the back knee, reach the heel backwards. Press down into your feet and rise up. Big in-breath. Squeeze the glutes towards each other, belly button to spine. If you know how to locate your pelvic floor, you can really tighten that up too. Brilliant. Exhale, drop your hands down. Jump your right foot a little bit more to the center. Take your left foot back. A nice high plank. Drop the knees, relax the feet, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, send your elbows towards your waistline. Elbows tucked in and down once again to your waistband. Inhale, lift up. Low cobra. Squeeze your buttocks and heels together. Lengthen your neck. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under, rise up onto your hands and knees, and make your way back to extended child's pose. Inhale onto your hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog, feet together. Raise your right leg for split dog. Now try and keep, or rather, for three-legged dog. Try and keep your hips even and your right foot flexed. Rise onto the toes of your left foot, bend your right knee, and I'd like you to tap your right knee to the inside of your right elbow, and then send it back up. Now tap it to the outside of your right elbow, and send it back up. Last time to your left elbow, and back. Flex the foot. Now bring the knee all the way forward. Place it roughly where your right hand is. Hop your left foot slightly to the left. Bend the back knee. Inhale, swing your arms up. High lunge. You've got 3. Lengthen your spine. So tailbone down, crown up. Reach your left heel back. So the benefit of bending that back knee gives you more of a stretch in the front of the thigh. If you straighten the back leg, you do lose some of that, but you gain a little bit stretch in the back leg. But for my money, this is the stronger stretch. Take both hands down and take your left foot forwards into your forward bend once again. Bend your knees, swing your arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take your right foot to your left. Big toes touching. Send both hands up. Take hold of your left wrist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gently lean to the right. I'm going to turn around. Make space between your ears and your arms so they're not touching. And if it feels all right, look up underneath your left arm. Take myself back. Squeeze your glutes together, belly button to spine. Inhale, lengthen your arms and come back up. We'll swap over. Take hold of your right wrist, lengthen, tilt to the left. Press both feet down. Really think about that right foot. Make space between your arms and ears. Look up underneath your right elbow while I take a little sip. Okay, lengthen, inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, scoot your arms up. Squeeze your glutes, arms just behind your ears and look up towards the heels of your hands. Exhale, hands to your forehead. Draw a line down the front of your face as you fold forwards. Bend your knees, inhale, big step back, left foot, walk the right foot to the right. Arms up to the sky and adjust your back leg to find the length that you're looking for today. This time, take your hands to your heart. Lengthen the sideways, so make your spine long again and look to the right. Keep your hands at your heart. Lift up once again and try and get your left armpit or the back of your left shoulder to outside the right knee. Keep your hands at the center of your chest. If you're feeling sturdy, look over your right shoulder, take it slowly. I'm not. To help your balance, you might open your arms out and take your left foot to the mat, your right hand to the sky. Breathe gently through your nose. And then take that right hand down to the mat. Both hands under your shoulders. Step your right foot back. Feet together. High plank. So we'll lower down gently. One straight plane. Relax your feet. Press your belly button down. Lift your shoulders. Push the floor away, but keep your elbows tucked into your waistline. Lengthen your neck. Squeeze your glutes. You want this to be a nice soft curve like the letter C, not a deep bend like the letter L. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, onto your knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feet stay together. Raise your left leg for three-legged dog. Aim to make a diagonal line from your left heel to your left hand. Let's rise onto the toes of the right foot. Bend your left knee. Take it to the inside of your left elbow and send it back. To the right elbow and send it back. Or let's do outside the left elbow and send it back. Marvelous. Now take that leg all the way forward. Do you know where you're going? Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Lengthen your spine. Now turn slowly to the left. Lift up again. Back of your right shoulder, aiming for the outside of your left knee. Hands at the center. So if your hands are at your left armpit, just check in with that. See if you can press the left hand down to open out. Slowly turn your head to look at your left arm. Once again, you can open out here. So it's a slightly deeper twist, but it has the benefit of helping your balance. Now at this point, I'd like you to remember you're enjoying your practice. Maybe there's a smile hiding somewhere. Drop your left hand and take your right foot forwards. Bend your knees, swing all the way up, nice big in breath. Out breath, hands to your heart. Brilliant. Take your right foot out just a little bit further. Your toes can be slightly turned out. Once again, take your hands towards your lower back. So probably right where the glute, you can either be right where the glutes are or right where the kidneys are. What I'd like you to do is to see what feels best for you. Some people prefer to have their hands turned the other way. That doesn't work for me so well. So find what you like. Lift up with the in-breath, squeeze the glutes. It's as though you're lifting up to lean over something that's circular. Keep squeezing your elbows towards each other. You might find a softness in the knees. Once again, you're not lifting your chin, it's along for the ride. To come out, squeeze the glutes. Lift up, keep your head back where it is. Take the hips backwards. Exhale forwards. Bend your knees. Shoot your right foot back. Rise up into a nice high lunge. Bring your hands to your heart. We'll take that twist again. So you can take the level that you like. A softer version might be just to take this or this. Or your stronger version will be to get your right shoulder to the outside of your left knee. Open out. And then possibly you could take the half bind, left hand to your back. See if you can reach it down towards your right thigh. And then take your right hand, if you feel stable, and try and take hold of fingertips or wrist. Then look up towards the sky. Woo. Take a nice long in-breath. Exhale, unravel. Hands to the mat. Hop your right foot to the center. Take yourself back into a high plank. This time, feet together. Slide onto the right side. Take your left arm up. Now, if you feel unstable here, left foot in front, even bend the left knee. If you feel strong, what happens if you bend your top knee? Lift your hips. Whew. Okay, take the left hand down into a high plank. A nice vinyasa. We can take chaturanga dandasana or straight down to the mat. So chaturanga, you drop your shoulders level with your elbows, push forward and rise into upward facing dog. Squeeze the glutes. Press the whole hand into the mat except for the finger knuckles. And wherever you are, make your way into downward facing dog. Brilliant. Feet are together. Take your shoulders over your wrists and make your way into side plank on the left leg. Take your variation. Whatever you do though, keep your hips high. Take the right hand down to the mat and let's swing the right foot all the way forwards. Rise up, inhale. Okay, we'll take the twist, hands to your heart. Turn to the right. So feel free to drop the back knee or not. I find there's a little shuffling that goes on here while I get myself into a comfortable space. And then take the half bind or the full bind. Whichever version of this you're in, if your knee is off the mat, reach your left heel back. Okay, gently swivel around. Take your left foot forwards. Bend your knees and swing all the way up with a big in-breath. Exhale, hands to your heart. Brilliant. So let's take a balance, a nice back bend balance. Bring your big toes to touch. Bend your right knee and then send the foot back. See if you can take hold of the foot. Now, like you, so even if you have to do it like this, I'd like you to bring your knees back together so that they're lined up. And take your left arm forward, palm facing up. Now, there's a million ways into this pose. So the version I like is to send the right leg back. So I'm moving from the thigh, not from the foot. Keep your hips square. So the moment you start to open, I'd like you to lower the knee. So keep them square into the back bend. Then you can start to lean forward and reach your left arm as far forward as it'll go. Keep the glutes squeezed and your gaze is on something that's not moving.
Bend your left knee and we'll step back into the high lunge. Inhale all the way up. Brilliant. Exhale. Open out into warrior two, left foot forwards. Turn the left palm, reach forward, and then tilt backwards. Reverse warrior. So there's a nice stretch here in the side of the body, just going into the back. Take yourself back to warrior two. Bring your left forearm to your left thigh, and at this point, check that your knee isn't flopping into the center line. Open the hip out. Sweep your right arm down. Make a lovely extension in the right side of your body. Squeeze your buttocks. Belly button to spine. So the strength part of the pose then is take your left arm level with your right arm. Your gaze is just underneath your right arm. Exhale, drop your hands down. Swivel back. Lovely. Take your left foot back and make your way to downward facing dog. Now look at the space between your thumbs and either step or jump to the top. Bend your knees and swing your arms up. Big in breath. Exhale, hands to your heart. And let's repeat that on the other side. So big toes are touching. I need a sip. A lovely straight spine. Lift your left knee. Post the leg back. Knees together. Take hold of the left foot. Now, where should you grip it? I've seen it taught on the outside. I've seen it taught on the inside, and I've seen it taught over the toes. To me, that suggests you find what works for you. So we'll start to post the leg back and take your right arm forwards. So you take that leg back as far as feels comfortable. You might find you need to adjust your hand grip for what works for you. Then start to bend forwards, finding your gaze. Take a slight bend in the right knee, step back into high lunge. Big in breath. Exhale, warrior two. Marvelous. Flip the palm, reach forward, and make your way back to reverse warrior. Keep your right hip open. Lengthen your right hand up to the sky. Inhale, exhale, come back to warrior two. Right forearm to right thigh, and at this point, check your knee is not leaning inwards. Sweep your left arm down, open out for a big diagonal line. And then take your right arm so that your arms are parallel. Squeeze your glutes, belly button to spine. You can look up towards the ceiling. Remember to breathe. Okay, slowly make your way all the way down to the mat. Let's step back into downward facing dog. Marvelous. Okay, drop your knees. Bring your backside to your heels and swing your legs forward. Do a little bit of work on the mat. At this point, if you've got things in your hair that are going to feel uncomfortable to lay on, it's probably a good idea to move them. Big toes touching the mat, knees slightly bent. Reach forward as far forward as you can go. And then as though there was a lasso around your midsection and you're trying to touch the wall in front of you, start to lower down. Brilliant. Onto the mat. Palms on the mat, heels towards your body. Just take a moment. Feel the mat underneath you. You've worked really hard. It's warm today.
We'll take 3 stages of back bend. The final one will be the wheel pose. If you've not done the wheel pose before, but you think you might be able to, I would suggest that you do this through without doing the wheel and then maybe come back to it, or pause and watch it and take care of yourself as you do it. It's most important not to hurt your neck through that pose. So we'll start with our just gentle bridge pose. Make sure that you can just about touch your heels and that your knees and your feet are 2 fists, your 2 fists width apart. Palms down, press into your heels. So already feel your thighs engage when you press your heels. Start to allow your back to lift off the mat. Keep your toes on the mat. So as you raise your spine off the mat, you reach your knees forwards. When you're finished with the pose, or when you're at the peak of this pose, please don't turn your head, I'll describe. I'd like your shoulders to be on the mat at the back of your head. Your neck is not carrying any weight. Your breath can flow freely. Squeeze your glutes. Imagine there was an invisible block between your knees that you've got to squeeze. And then imagine that your feet are glued to the mat, but you need to try and bring them closer to your body. So you can feel the legs completely engage and the front of the body lengthen. That is the purpose of this pose. Now as you exhale, let go of some of that tension, soften. And slowly, after lifting your pelvis, you lift your pelvis up first and slowly lower down. Now, resist the urge to hug your knees. Just lay there with your knees bent. See what you can feel from that pose. Okay, so you can either do that again, or you can take the pose to a slightly more intense level by taking your arms under your body, and I will describe. So either doing what you just did, or peel your back off the mat once again, and then slide your hands underneath your body until you can interlace your fingers. Straighten your arms to keep your hands on the mat, and then roll under with the shoulders. So you're getting your shoulders as close under your mat as you can. Lift your hips. Now, if you're advanced in the practice, you might bring the heels of the hands together. But make sure that the weight is still on the shoulders, the feet, and the back of the head, not on the neck. Lengthen the front body as much as you can. Squeeze the glutes, heels towards your body. This is a strong pose. This is not one that you can just hang out in. Now release your hands. Tip your pelvis up, lower down gently. And once again, just be there. See how that feels. Now, often on Instagram, you see poses of people before and after with their back bends. And the before, they look like a sort of a crab, what children would have done and called crab on the playground. And afterwards, they look like they've been bent in half, and there's a steep bend. I'll try to describe you a steep bend. I'm sure you can picture it in the lower back. So that's not what we want to do here for strengthening the spine and creating space. What we're looking for is a softness to the curve, so real softness. Over time, the softness develops and you can become more flexible and have a deeper bend. But in the early stages of back bend, you won't be doing that. So unless you know your practice, so you do what feels right. But you can either do one of the other 2 back bends, or we'll take the wheel pose. And if you want to try the wheel, I'll talk you through, but really listen carefully. So the first thing to do, your feet are as they would be for any other bridge. Hands behind you with the fingertips towards your shoulders and your elbows pointing straight up. Press the feet down. We're going to lift up and land on the top of your head, but not with a clunk It's just lightly touching the mat. So you push the floor away, take your bum off the mat, push the floor, and let the top of your head come to rest on the mat. So my head's not taking any weight. My neck is not taking any weight. It's my hands. Then you push the floor away to straighten the arms. Do not try to straighten your legs at this point unless you've been doing this for years and you know where you're going. Keep squeezing the glutes. Press the hands into the mat. Breathe. To come out, you might lower gently and land once again very gently on the top of your head. I might still be able to get a piece of paper under there. Then lift your head and roll onto the back of your head. Lower your body slowly. Once again, resist the urge to hug your knees, just lay there. We want to feel the effects of the back bend, not cancel it out immediately. Marvelous. Now take your knees towards your chest and give them a hug. Have a little rock from side to side. Extend your left leg, flex your right foot, and take the leg up. So you want roughly a right angles. You might be able to go a little further, but that's not important. What's important is what we're doing here is flattening your back into the mat. Now, if you have a strap handy, or a scarf or a long sleeve t-shirt, that can be really useful in keeping the foot square and pulling down so that I do it with the other leg, so that your buttock isn't rising off the mat and your right leg isn't, the opposite leg isn't rising off the mat. So you want to keep that leg in the air as straight as you can and as much of your right glute on the mat as possible so that we flatten the back. You might bend the right knee and bring your thigh towards your chest if you don't need a band and you don't feel like you have to have one. Once again, the feeling you're looking for is a flat back. Okay, take that foot to the mat. Let's do the same on the other side. Bend your left knee, give it a little squeeze, and then send it straight up to the sky. So you might send it away first and straighten it and then lift it. It's more important to have a straight leg and be here, you might be holding your thigh, than to have a bent leg and be here. So it's about, because we're lengthening the back of your leg is the purpose of this. That and flattening your back. So just feel where you are. Now bend your left knee, bring your chest towards your thigh, keep your right leg nice and close to the mat. And then let the foot come towards the floor. Stretch out your leg, make sure you are on your mat. Arms by your sides, palms up. Make any adjustments you need to. I'm fidgeting and wriggling around to make sure that the whole spine feels flat on the mat. That's what you want. If there's any tension or discomfort in your lower back, or if it feels like it's really arched off the mat, bend your knees. Take them to the width of the mat and let your knees fall in towards each other. Eyes lightly closed. Take a nice in-breath through the nostrils. And a delicious out-breath and sink into the mat. Do that 2 more times. And then return to your natural breath and become aware of any sensations at all in your body from your practice. Now bring your feet together, clasp your hands, take a lovely big in-breath and a big stretch. And as you exhale, soften your body, make your way over onto one side, just like you were turning over in your sleep. Because this is the best way up to sitting. Then use that top hand to help you up. So that avoids strain on your neck. Come up to a comfortable seat. Hands at your heart, slightly close your eyes. Take a moment in gratitude for anything you choose at this point. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share so that we can get an online community doing breathwork and practice on a Sunday. Marvelous. All right. Have a gorgeous day, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.